What's up, everybody? Hey, we're gonna go cut some new paths into a deer spot of mine. Well, deer, turkey, whatever. Does a little bit of everything. Take you along with that today. But on the way here, gonna talk a little bit about finding freedom outdoors, the archery shop. Just real quick while we're on the way. Tanner and I kind of started this archery shop out of irritation, mostly, of shops in our area. Big shops, all the name brands, all the good stuff, willing to sell you anything. But then when it's time to actually work on a bow or listen to what we would want in our bow or arrow or setups, either they didn't really have an answer or it was their way or the highway. So, like, well, we don't really have, sponsors or dealerships or partnerships or whatever, but we can work on bows. We kind of worked on our own for a little bit anyway. So we went through all the formal stuff of it becoming a legitimate business, and that's where we're at on it. It's new, it's fun, learning a lot of things. It's kind of another excuse to play with archery stuff all the time. Now, our outdoor page, or what we're doing all these videos and stuff like that on, is more just a passion project. We'll get into more things later, but anything outdoors. Yes, we're bow hunters first and foremost, but it can be anything to do with the outdoors: hunting, fishing, camping, just walking around in the woods. It doesn't really matter. I'm kind of speaking for Tanner here because he's not with me, but I've had enough talks with him where I believe we look at things quite similarly, quite the same. Outdoors, being outdoors, doing outdoor things is kind of a getaway, I don't know, from our own brains, from responsibilities. I don't know if that's the right way to put it, because it's not like either one of us are necessarily running from anything. We have nothing to run from. It's not that we hate, you have guys go, oh, I hate my life, blah, blah, blah. No, it's nothing like that. It's a mental thing. At least for me, it's a mental thing. It's kind of like a recharge, a reset. I've found over time, because I used to do all kinds of different things as an outlet, hunting in particular, but anything outdoors really makes me a better person, makes me a better dad, makes me a better partner, as they say now. It just kind of call it the perfect me time for me. So the videos going forward will have all kinds of stuff. It won't just be, working on bows. We want that to be somewhat of a focal point, because that is the business. That's how we're going to try and make money. But there are going to be some people that are gun hunters or don't hunt at all, or just like to fish or camp or want to see knives or gear or whatever. And we've looked all around, and there's some really good people out there doing it, and there's some that are not. I think a lot of people think that there's a giant barrier to entry as far as money. I mean, I've got a little, I can't even remember what this thing is, a DJI camera is all that I'm using. And, sorry, there's a weird car with his flashers on. I've got a little DJI camera. I've got a 360 camera I don't even know how to use. And that's what we use for every video so far. And what I'm going to use for every video for the foreseeable future. It's a little bit of money, but nothing crazy. far as better cameras, Tanner and my fiance both have DSLR cameras, and I'll start to play with them, but I really have no clue how to use them. Never really played with them before. So as far as money, you can get an old GoPro for probably $100 on Marketplace, $200 maybe, I don't know. You don't have to spend thousands of dollars on camera equipment just to goof around and talk into it or show people what you're doing. But beyond that, we want to leave something, at least I want to leave something to my son, my future daughter. That's all the kids I plan on having. But when I go somewhere and, you know, I tell them I'm hunting, because if I'm fishing, they're usually with me. If I tell them I'm hunting, they just think I'm going to go out and shoot something, and neither one, my son's not quite old enough to understand. He doesn't get it. He's not quite old enough to get what I'm doing. Yes, I'm going to go out and I'm going to bring him a steak home so he can eat it and be all happy and yada, yada, yada. But that's the extent that he understands it, so he doesn't really have much interest in it. He's going to go out hunting with me this fall. We'll see what happens, but someday, if I can never, I don't know, make it make sense to him just by talking to him about it, how I feel about things, maybe he can go back and watch these someday and get an idea of it. So that's the real kind of idea and purpose of why we're doing these videos. Overall, I'm not great at talking on camera. Tanner's much better at talking and being enthusiastic and all that good stuff than I am. I look at this as a digital paper trail for, you know, future family, friends, whatever. Maybe somebody, you know, just like me that's having a rough go about things. I don't know. And, you know, learn some new stuff as I go along, have a good time with it. If it ends up making money, cool. If not, no harm, no foul. But we're almost where we're going. Just a quick little chat for you. We'll talk to you in a bit.